always have a soft spot in my beer drinking heart for those brewers and those craft beers that got me started ultimately on my craft beer journey. Brewers like Abita and their beers like Purple Haze and Turbo Dog. Other brewers like Southern Tier and beers like Pumpkin and Creme Brulee. And then there's a brewer like Rogue. One of the very first craft beers I ever had was their Hazelnut Brown Nectar. Also had their chocolate stout at one point or another. And oddly enough, I haven't really had them anytime recently just because I've been exploring so many other things, and Rogue is just kind of always there otherwise. It's always kind of like a standby on the shelf that I always see. And I always want to go back to, but then something else catches my eye. Nothing against Rogue, it's just that I want to keep trying new things. And this is kind of a way for me to go back to Rogue, but still be trying something new. From Rogue, this is their Hazelutely Choctabulous candy bar in a bottle. It is actually 60% hazelnut brown nectar and then 40% of their chocolate stout. So, bit of a good combination there. Let's see, 5.7% ABV. And part of the description on here, it says it's supposed to have a rich, nutty flavor up front, followed by a chocolate truffle finish. When I saw this in the store, I could not resist picking it up, and it was actually really, really affordable too. I believe this bottle was $6.99. I do not see bombers for $6.99 nowadays. So of course I was not gonna pass that up. And if this is good, I'm gonna have to go back to get some more. I actually recently discovered that the another ABC Fine Wine and Spirits that's kind of in my area. It's more in the Venice area here in Florida. Holy shit, their selection blows my local ABCs away. So I'm gonna have to go down there a little bit more. That's where I found this one. Another review that I'm gonna have coming up, I found a couple of those things from there. So I'm in trouble because even their selection of bells was exponentially greater than the ABC closest to my house. Why is it always that the greatest beer stores are not quite close enough for me to go to all the time? Well, then again, I'd end up poor, wouldn't I? Or more poor than I already am. Anyway, let me get to the beer. Oh, nice aroma, nice aroma. Definitely getting that nuttiness of the hazelnut, a little bit of that bitterness of the chocolate. That is a good combination. For some reason or another, I found that hazelnut tends to be difficult to pull off in beers, or at least pulling it off right without it coming across as artificial. You see, when I think of hazelnut flavor, I think like those Ferrero Rocher chocolates. Maybe that's just me. Oh wow, and the bitterness at the back end of it is very much the Rogue chocolate stout. So it does really progress through those two flavors like that, but it also blends them kind of in the middle. And you know what, the kind of heft of this beer, I would think this is actually a higher ABV. I would be guessing this maybe around like 8, almost 9. And what did I say, 5.4? 5.7. This feels heavier than a 5.7 beer. That's actually pretty impressive. Usually it's the other way around where you'll get like a 10 or 11%er and like this is drinking like a 6%. So it's kind of interesting and not in a bad way there. If there was one complaint I had about this, it's that the bitterness of the chocolate at the end lingers a little bit too long. Just a little too much on the bitter side for me there. But when it gets to that too bitter point, I take another sip. And this is another one of those beers that I'd be very curious to see how the flavor changes a little bit as it's warmed up. You know, eventually with some reviews, I may have to start doing that where kind of split it into 2 parts, do like a little fast forward and, you know, try it, let it sit and warm for a bit, and then come back and, you know, do a secondary review. I don't know. I'll have to figure out the right beers to do that with, but it's an idea. Not doing it tonight because I want to finish this bottle. Have one more sip for you. Definitely good. I'm very glad I tried this. I would not say it's exactly a candy bar in a bottle, and I've had beers that come very close to that. That said, this is still really good, and it makes me kind of nostalgic for the days when Rogue was my go-to when I would go to the liquor store. What was it? Sandy's in Bud Lake on Route 46. That was where I would, you know, pick up my bottles of Rogue from inside the cooler. And it's been a long time since I've had anything from Rogue. In fact, I think the last thing I probably had was the Sriracha Stout, which is still damn good. And that ABC that I found this at had some of the Sriracha Stout, so I think I have to go back and get some of that too. I know there's also in the Voodoo Donut series, there is a new-ish one. I think it's been out for a couple months at least now. That it has some kind of grape flavor to it. I'm a little apprehensive about that one. I skipped the last iteration. I think it was like a mango kind of thing going on. Grape, I'm curious because when I think grape in a beverage, I'm not thinking grape. I'm thinking, I'm thinking what you think of as if you have grape hard candy, grape Jolly Rancher, you know, something like that. That's clearly not a grape flavor, but a candy grape flavor. So I'm still slightly curious about that one. If anybody has actually tried that one, I can't remember the name of it. I just remember there's something, excuse me, something grape with that one. If anybody's tried that, let me know. Hit me up on Facebook. What is it? Facebook.com/group/alcohol by volume. Leave a comment here on this video, or find me on Twitter, ABV_reviews, and let me know. But with that, finish up this Rogue Hazelutely Choctabulous 5.7% ABV. I believe it's seasonal, so if you see it on your shelf and you're interested, pick it up while you can, and I'll see you guys for the next review.